My name is Russ Bredholt, and I live in Orlando, Florida. And I was associated with what was then WKOC from 1967 to 1971. I started out as an announcer, and then later on was appointed station manager. Did some of the play-by-play of the basketball games, and was involved on a consistent basis for 4 years. I would just like to point out a few highlights of the time that I was here and worked with the station. It was a great opportunity to learn about broadcasting and communications and business and management, and as I have learned over the years, the motivation and care of employees or staff. All of these things were bundled up in that tenure with the station. There are 2 or 3 highlights, just for the record, that I would like to mention. First of all was getting College Church on the air. In my sophomore year, I went to Dr. Don Irwin, said that I had no money, but that I needed programming. I needed an audience, and to get an audience, we needed programming. Programming people could not get anywhere else. And so we worked out an arrangement for us to broadcast College Church. And Dr. Irwin was very generous with us and helped us financially with the telephone lines and in other ways. And I think that was an important part of the station's connecting with its community. Even though it was just 10 watts, it was the beginning of doing something with its community, which was very important. I also think about the time in my sophomore year where, having assessed the situation with the station, it either had to be shut down completely, in my opinion, or it had to be shut down, rebuilt, and then come back on the air after its retooling. And I went to Dr. Reed, who was president at the time, and the cabinet, and made a proposal. And thanks to the support of who at that time, Kurt Brady was dean of students. And he was very supportive and made the motion to proceed with this proposal. We shut the place down. Tim Mercer and Mr. Irby got in there and rewired, retooled, moved the transmitter from the announcer's booth into the other studio. The station at that time was on the second floor of Ludwig Center. I think that was a very important day for the station, and it was also a way of Dr. Reed signaling to me that he was really in favor of having it, but after Ray Moore left, it had become an orphan, and yet he was willing to invest time and money into it, and that was a big boost for all of us. I think that one of the key things to keep in mind is that back then, not only was it on the air about 4 hours a day, we moved that up to 12 hours and then to 18, but we didn't have much money to run the place on. The budget was $1,500 a year, a school year. $900 of that went for my stipend as station manager and to teach the radio workshop class. So that left about $600 to operate the station on. And so we all became entrepreneurs, and I don't think any of us had ever heard the word before. But several things led to the development of the station that I want to mention. One, we got a lot of free records back in those days from record companies, most of which we could not play. And so Ron Cunningham, who was music director, took the lead, put on a once-a-semester record donation project in the foyer of Ludwig Center, and would raise considerable sums of money with those donations each semester. Those donations then led to improvements in equipment, carpeting the studios and office, buying the things we needed but couldn't within the budget that we had. $1,500. That was in the 67 to 71 time frame. But Ron's innovativeness in doing that, and also the students began to then really connect with the station a little more, and that helped us out an awful lot. We got several letters from the Fine Arts Department. They were not happy with us doing that, nonetheless, we needed money and went ahead and did it anyway. I think of the ball games, especially doing the away games. Obviously, on campus, the students could attend, and so therefore it wasn't necessarily much of an audience draw. But as we began to do away games, and what we would do is we would go to various individuals, alumni, businesses, and get them to donate the cost of the telephone lines. And so therefore the away ball games helped us to get an audience. Doing the debates with the student body presidential candidates, all of those things were just ways to get an audience and to build attention to the station and get the thing going. But thanks to Ken Ball and Ruth James and Jane Graham and a whole host of people, Frank Pistolka, who came in and did sports, and others, Tim Mercer, I think what we did between 1967 and 1971 is this. We kept the radio station alive. And we kept it alive just long enough for someone else to come along and take it over and give it the time and attention that it needed. But keeping something alive is a worthy task. And in looking back on it, I think that's what we did, and maybe that's our contribution to what is now WONU. I'm sorry I couldn't be here with you today in person. The station means a lot to me. It was a great opportunity. I'm so thankful that the college made key decisions along the way to keep it going, expand it, and now to see what it is and what it does. It's worth every hour that we spent nearly 30 years ago to keep it going. Thank you very much.